Today we're going to practice going from standard form to slope-intercept form. A lot of times we call this solving for y. An easy way to identify your slope-intercept form is that it will always be in the form of y equals. So if you know, notice both of these equations begin with y equals. So they are in slope-intercept form already. The reason it's called slope-intercept form is because we can easily identify our slope and our y-intercept just by looking at the equation. Our slope is going to be the number that is connected to the x. So in these two equations, 2 and 4 are our slope. The number that stands alone, not connected to the variable, is our y-intercept. So in this case, negative 10 and 5 are our y-intercepts. The thing that's most important, though, is that we notice that both of these equations are in y equals form. In Algebra 1, it is always our goal to take any equation and put it into y equals form. Here's our first example of an equation that is not in y equals form. This is called standard form because it's in the form of ax plus by equals c. We know our goal is to take it into y equals form. In order to take a standard equation and put it in y equals form, we use the formula opposite of a over b x plus c over b. Now we know b begins with a bottom. Bottom begins with a b, which is why the b's are always on the bottom. So if I wanted to take this equation and change it into y equals form, I would say y equals the opposite of a, which is 4, so negative 4, over my b, which is a positive 2, x plus c, which is a 10 over 2. Notice the bottoms are always the same. Now why did I put a c? It should be a 10. I apologize for that. Now I'm pretty comfortable simplifying fractions, so I know that this simplifies down into negative 2x plus 5. I now have switched it into y equals form. So I can easily tell that my slope is negative 2 and my y-intercept is 5. Maybe you're not comfortable simplifying fractions, or you're not capable of doing it. That's okay. You can let your calculator help you. Individually put each of those fractions in. Negative 4 over 2 shows me that it equals negative 2, and 10 over 2 equals 5. I often have students try to type in the entire expression, and you can't. You have to type in each fraction individually and then create your whole fraction. Let's try another one. X minus 2y equals 8. Now I know that this is not in y equals form, so I need to go ahead and transform it. Ax plus by equals c. So to do that, we do opposite of a. So what number is in front of x if we don't see it? 1. So my a is 1. So y equals the opposite of a. This is the most common mistake that students make, is that my b is negative 2. If there's a subtraction sign, you have to take that with you. So my b is negative 2, x plus my c is 8, and my bottom is negative 2. Notice your bottoms are always the same. I go ahead and I put it into my calculator if I'm not comfortable simplifying. Negative 1 over 2 equals, that should be a negative 2, negative 1 over a negative 2 equals 1/2. So y equals, and then we do the other one, alpha y equals, take it, 8 over negative 2, and we get negative 4. So my equation let's make it a little bit bigger here, is y equals negative 1/2 x minus 4, where my slope, I said negative 1/2, it's not. My equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 4. My slope is 1/2, and my y-intercept is 0, negative 4. Let's try another one. This is not in y equals form, so we're going to do opposite of a. So the opposite of a would be 3 over my b, which is negative 6, x plus c over negative 6. We put the fractions individually into the calculator. So 3 over negative 6 and 12 over negative 6. So I have y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2, where my slope is negative 1/2 and my y-intercept is negative 2. We're going to do this last one that's a little bit challenging because it has a fraction in it. So y equals the opposite of a, so negative 1/5 over b, which is 3, x plus c, which is 4 over 3. Now, students say, how can you have a fraction over a fraction? That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Let's go ahead and show you how you would do this. If you wanted to divide a fraction by a fraction, you're going to go ahead and you're going to do the fraction key. So, negative 1 over 5. And then you're going to take that and you're going to divide it by 3. And it gives you your fraction, negative 1/15. And then I go ahead and type in 4/3. Now notice this one comes out exactly as 4/3. That just means that it can't be simplified. So my slope is negative 1/15 and my y-intercept is 4/3.